talkSPORT understands that Liverpool are in the hunt for Alexander Isak. Our mate Jason Cundy isn't here today because he stepped in for Benty on drive earlier this afternoon. Here's what Cundy had to make of Liverpool going in for Isak.
Liverpool right now, if they get him,
I
can't they are overwhelming favourites to lift the title again, right? And I love the way Liverpool are going about it. Going in for inverts, go in, bang, here we go. Here's what we need. Identify it, go and get the man.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Newcastle, there's a food chain, and Newcastle aren't as big as Liverpool. They're simply not.
No, you can't argue
unfortunately, that's how it is. And Liverpool there, if they come in with... The thing that Newcastle got to do now, they might have to just accept that the bigger club has come in, get the most money you can for him. Force it. And he's under contract. Newcastle own the player.
I can't believe we're playing that absolute waffle. Absolute waffle. Who's that guy?
Pure drizzle.
Yeah, just talking absolute dross. Don't get him on again. Who is he? Jeez. Can't be playing that numbnut on our show. Do you think he's right, Cundy, old Cundy boy? Do you think he's right saying there's a bit of a food chain?
There is. We're seeing it with Real Madrid.
Yeah, I know.
They don't have to put in bids anymore. They just signal that they're interested.
Yeah.
And then that player seems to want to wind down their contract and go on a free. So, unfortunately, it's just the way football is at the moment. You've got, the food chain. You've got the top, the elite, which is at the moment Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, your PSGs, your Bayern Munichs and Liverpools, and then you have the teams below you. They pick from them, and they pick from us. So it is a food chain.
What do you think the food chain is in the Premier League?
At the moment, you're looking at probably Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon there would be if them two coming in and you had an Arsenal, they'll probably fight out between them two.
Arsenal ain't on that category, though.
I would say they're below.
Yeah.
They're below Liverpool and Man City.
Arsenal are in the between bracket of, Man United, Spurs, Newcastle, Chelsea. Arsenal are like just in that bracket above them. But like a million miles away from...
Are you saying
they're a million miles away from Liverpool, Man City?
Are you saying Arsenal are just above Spurs?
They're just above Spurs in what they can get. Just above Chelsea, just above Newcastle.
I have to disagree.
But they're not. Like any Arsenal fan that's like, an Arsenal fan here, I see it on the sheet here. Why are we not going for Isak? Well, because Liverpool are going for Isak.
Yeah.
So there's only one place he's going.
You gotta ask that question. You gotta look at Arsenal as a club and think, well, they've been needing a striker for the past how many years? Since Thierry Henry. All right? Why now? Why are they not thinking, okay, Liverpool are testing the water. Why are we not testing the water?
Yeah.
For a man who's proven out and out week in gaming in the Premier League. Why can't we do that?
Because they ain't going to get him. Because if they do agree a fee, Liverpool will match it, and there's only one place that Isak's going, and it's Liverpool.
But is that the club saying we're not ambitious to spend that kind of money? We don't want to spend that kind of money.
I just think they think that they can't compete if Isak was available. I just don't think that they would get him over a club like Liverpool, so I don't think they've bothered. Let's go to David. He's a Newcastle fan. All right, Dave?
How are we doing? We all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, Dave. Look, how are you feeling about this situation? Because he is your star man.
I think we hold all the cards, don't we? With 3-year contract.
Yeah.
I think Cundy makes some good points. He's got a 3-year contract. There is a food chain. He is going to leave. I think he gives us one more year. If I'm being brutally honest, I think he gives us one more year. And I think if we're sitting here saying Ekatike is worth 80, 90 million quid, then Isak is absolutely worth 150 million pounds, isn't he? 120 million is not enough.
It's a British record, though.
Yeah,
it's a British transfer record. I mean, what?
But Liverpool have just paid 120 million for Wirtz from Leverkusen.
Yeah.
We are being quoted 80, 90 million quid for Ekatike, who's a 23-year-old player who failed at PSG and scored 17 goals in the Bundesliga. If he's worth 80, 90 million pounds, Alexander Isak, with 3 years left of his contract, is worth 150 million pounds.
I've got to break it to you, though. Like, he's a brilliant player, but he's playing for Newcastle. Like, he won the Carabao Cup. And fair play to you. Like, and you've had a good season, but like, come on.
As a Newcastle fan, I agree with you. Okay, I agree.
Florian Wirtz played for Bayer Leverkusen, and they won the double. They went the whole season unbeaten. Like,
I agree.
You know, like one of the best players in the Bundesliga.
Touted one of the best players in the Bundesliga.
Like, what makes you think that he's worth 150 million? He plays for Newcastle.
Because we hold the cards right now, don't we? He's got a 3-year contract. We're playing in the Champions League. We don't need to sell him.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's true though. I don't know if you do hold the cards. You've got PSR problems.
That's the thing. That's the PS.
PSR problem.
That's where you may struggle, because if you're going to pay 70 to 80 million for Ekateke, right?
Yeah.
That's a transfer record for itself in Newcastle. Now, are they going to pay a record for a player who's going to be a number 2? Are they going to pay? No, but listen, are they going to pay that record to put their self in trouble? The ball Alanga.
I agree. Yeah.
They're going to need to maybe buy a few more to stay in the Champions League to compete.
Yeah.
So
another goalkeeper, another centre half.
Yeah.
Midfielder.
So they're going to need to spend, and that if they get Ekateke, I think they will have to listen to offers for Isak.
And I agree, but I think we listen to offers next summer, because it's a 3-year PSR period, and I think next summer Isak will probably leave, and he will go to a dynasty club, a Liverpool, a Madrid, a Barcelona, Bayern Munich, whoever it might be. He won't stay at Newcastle for the rest of his career. But I think it's another 12 months, and then he will go for 120, 130 million quid, or whatever it might be. But if they want him this summer,
it's 150 million.
It's 150 million quid.
What about 130 million?
Well, we're in the position of strength, aren't we? If Liverpool want him, they pay top dollar for him.
And that's
3 years left in the contract.
And that's what may happen. It may be 120 million, maybe 150 million, and then it may be 50 million.
I know they talk about a contract, but you've also got to talk about his age. You know, he's another year older. You don't know what he's going to do this season. He might get injured. You know, he's picked up injuries before. He might have injury-prone season, and you've missed it. He might be worth 80 million next season.
Do you think Ekateke is worth 80 million then?
I mean,
this transfer market, a lot of players. It's just the valuation.
I think the market of the Premier League, the market of transfers is ridiculous. All these clubs are hamstrung on PSR situations, but owners want 120 million pound for their players. You know, and 60 million pound for a player who really and truthfully 10 years ago or even 5 years ago would go for 30, 25 million. Now these players who are, you know, good players but not brilliant players are going for 60 million. Yeah, but then we're all moaning about PSR. Now these clubs meant to do business and compete when, you know, the price of transfers and what, you know, what we regard as what these players worth is just gone out of control. It's ridiculous if you're an owner of a football club. How are you meant to bring in star quality when players want 120 million pound for a player that hasn't even won the Premier League?
Well, this is it.
It's ridiculous.
We can't compete, but we should be able to compete, shouldn't we?
No, I agree. I feel sorry for Newcastle. I want Newcastle. You've brought in the best owners and you've brought in these rich owners. You should be able to spend whatever you want. That's my take on it. If you're lucky enough at a club, you've got a billionaire, multi-billionaire who wants to come and make Newcastle unbelievable, great, then they should have the right to do that. How is it fair that Chelsea had the right because they had Roman Abramovich, 20 years ago? How is it fair that, Sheikh Mansour bought Man City 15 years ago and turned them into what they turned into? How's that fair? But now Newcastle can't do it because, there's PSR and we've changed the rules and you're not allowed. Well, Chelsea have become the most successful team in England. They got 21 trophies or something because they had Roman Abramovich come in and turned them into that force. I think it's unfair. But
well, in what other industry can you buy a business but then not invest in that business with your own money?
No. Disgrace. Yeah, it's a disgrace. It is. I think it's an absolute joke, and I think it's ruining the Premier League and the great teams and football clubs that we could have actually in it, and the players that we could actually get. Because I think everyone would join a Premier League.
But on the flip side, you have to be successful. You've got to be successful. If you're successful, you then earn a lot of money. You bring in revenue, and then you can buy a lot of players because that weighs out the cons. But if you're not successful, then unfortunately, you're going to get caught out with the PSR.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.